All right. You're welcome to the lesson again. And this time around is going to be summary of Act 4 of the play Death and the King's Horseman. Now we are at the masquerade, that is the ball of the masquerade party, which is basically a European costume party. The Pickenses, that is Simon and Jane, including the prince, the residents, and the residents' aide-de-camp, are there. All are there to witness the party. So the prince and Jane and Simon are chatting. Congrats, Simon. A footman comes in with a note for Perkins, which the resident snatches and reads before the servant can interrupt Simon's conversation with the prince. He then extricates Simon tactfully from the convoy, that is, those people that follow him, so he can tell him about the notes. As he's leading Simon away, the resident gives an order to his aide-de-camp, that is, that person that accompanied him. We don't know what is in the notes yet, beyond the fact that it was labeled emergency. The residents want to know if something serious is going on, and Perkins explains the ritual that Election and the others are participating in. Apparently, the resident has sent his aide to get Amusa for more details. So Simon sends his wife after the aide to follow up and speed them back. After giving Perkins a hard time for his handling of the situation up to this point, and commanding him to keep things under control and file a report the next day, the resident returns to the party. Perkins then dismisses the aide-de-camp, that is the person that accompanied, when Amusa still can't look at him in his costume. Perkins dismisses him for the night as well and heads out to intervene, leaving Jane at the party. That is, he wanted to intervene in the sacrifice, the ritual. After all the men leave, Jane is standing there on her own when Olunde, that is Election's son, arrives. They are glad to see each other at first, especially since Olunde is looking for Simon. But the conversation soon sours when Jane realizes Olunde's time in England has made him less pro-English rather than more. That is, he expects him to be speaking fluently like English people. Oops, they go back and forth as Olunde offers some reflections on England and the English. He explains that he got word of the king's death and knew that his father will have to die by tradition, so he has come back to fulfill his duty of burying his father. Jane is totally baffled that Olunde will accept his father's death that easily, that is as easy as that, and not want Simon to stop it. They hear the drums change, that is the change in the tone of the drum, and Olunde takes this to mean that the deed is done. Jane is horrified at how casual Olunde is about the idea that his father is now dead. Hearing Jane getting upset, the aide-de-camp runs in, thinking Olunde is to blame. He starts getting in his face and being super insulting, that is raining more insult on him. Jane eventually gets him to back off and leave again, assuring him she's better now. Jane and Olunde then discuss his reaction to believing his father dead, and Jane seems to genuinely try to understand the situation. Then Simon comes back and is surprised to find Olunde there. He asks Jane to go get the aide-de-camp. The aide-de-camp must be getting tired from all this. Olunde tells Simon he has no hard feelings about Simon's attempt to stop the ritual from happening, but he also says he's glad Simon didn't succeed because the results will have been catastrophic. That is, it will be something tragic. Simon doesn't really seem to know how to react to this one. Olunde tries to scurry off to see his father's body before it's cold, but Pickens asked him to wait, since there were armed policemen outside who had been told not to let people pass. Then he says he will send Olunde over to somewhere he refers to as the place. With the aide de camp and some other men, the aide de camp comes back at the moment. Simon pulls him aside and asks him to get the keys to the cellar in the residence's annex, that is, where his enslaved people were housed in the slave trading days. That is the particular place, the key to the place where people who were enslaved were kept then. The two men also discuss logistics for making sure the residency is well guarded that night. Apparently, they are worried about rioting, and Simon mentions that he's taking the prisoner down, presumably to the cellar himself. Wait, what prisoner? Olunde is still trying to get Pickens to let him live to be with his father's body, but Simon puts him off, saying that he's still dealing with that situation and Olunde will just have to chill out for now. He scuttles out, and Jane and Olunde are left there confused. Then they hear Election yelling, which is obviously kind of a surprise, since he is supposed to be dead. So why is he yelling again? Does it mean something else has happened? Election runs in, having tried to escape his captors. He's handcuffed and pretty angry about having his plans thwarted. He's shocked at finding his son there. Olunde is angry, ostensibly because his father failed to complete his task, and tells Election that he doesn't have a father anymore. Olunde leaves and Election is upset. Can you imagine a son wishing his father dead? So this is the end of Act 4 of the play, Death and the King's Horseman. Look out for the remaining acts. Thank you.